How y'all doing? I'm the Watchman, and this is part three of the 4th of July deception. Now, got a lot of information to plug y'all with in here. I'm talking about some breakthrough news, something I had searched for a long time. And the guy and God used a listener on here to answer a question that I was looking for. Wow, that brings more and more truth and light. But anyway, we got to get right into it. And I know part two was a handful of just knowledge thrown at you, and I'm about to size it all in together. I had to throw in the fact of where America is really at in prophecy, because I realize a lot don't know. A lot don't know. A lot of people don't know. So I'm going to do a quick run through again of the first beast and then America, which is the second beast to come up in the last days. So basically, we're about to run through Revelation 13 real fast before we continue. Now let's look at it. Revelation 13, verse 1. Now, this is very crucial that you understand. Once you understand certain basics and information, I'm telling you, the Bible opens up. The Bible opens up. That's why certain things aren't taught anymore. That's why there's a Bible illiteracy going on nowadays. For God called all of this out. But anyway, let's get to it. Revelation 13, and we're going to start at verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea. And anytime you see the word sea in prophecy, it stands for multitude or peoples. I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Now, right there where he says at the end the name of blasphemy lets us know that it is a religious entity also. For we know that this first beast, for when blasphemy, for we know the Catholic Church says that they are God. The Pope says himself that he is in the place of God. You can pray, you know, through Mary or the Pope to get to God. He also says he can forgive sins. You know how they got confession set up in their sanctuary where you go to another man to have your sins forgiven. That is blasphemy, y'all. So God is throwing little hints, even though it speaks clear that the first beast is the Roman Catholic Church. God also throws other hints in, just so there is no doubt. But anyway, verse 2, and it says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power. This is very important. And the dragon, who's the dragon? The devil. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. So this is a religious power backed by the devil himself, given power and might and authority by the devil himself to carry out the devil's bidding. In verse 3, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened up his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names were not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain for the foundation of the world. I want to stop and say right there, God is basically saying there's going to be 2 groups of people on the earth. Either you are worshiping the beast or you are a follower of God. There is no middle way. There is no neutral. The devil wants people to think they can be neutral. You cannot be neutral. You're either with one or the other. And as we see right there, You know, especially I want to go back up to where it says, and it was given him to make war with the saints. Just a little another tidbit of knowledge. During when the Roman Catholic Church was in power over Europe, and they had the Spanish Inquisition, and even the French, when they burned millions, when they burned thousands of Christians at the stakes in just a matter of days. You know, when they burned the Bibles and they burned all these Christians. This whole time period of 1260 days, 1260 years, 1260 years, when the Roman Catholic Church was in power, over 50 million Christians were killed just for worshiping God. So, and I gotta throw this out because too many of us today think we can go to church for 2-3 hours, say a 5-minute prayer, might read a verse, and think you deserve to be in heaven. Me personally, I'd feel funny of going to heaven and seeing all these people there who gave up so much just for having a Bible in their home or for talking about Jesus. They died. And how can I go there feeling like I belong, knowing I can't even sacrifice a whole day, spend a whole day with just God and no TV or nothing? I can't even give God a whole day, but I can go with all these saints and martyrs like I belong there. Just some food for thought. Just some food for thought. But anyway, let's get into it. Verse 11. Verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly one was healed. Now we know this second beast that comes up is America. How was America founded? When the Roman Catholic Church fell, when that wound hit hard. But when the Roman Catholic Church fell, people left Europe. The Puritans, people by the thousands and boatload, left Europe for this new country that they heard about called America. Do we think that only the good guys left? No, the bad guys left too. A new country? What? And this is where we come in to the 4th of July deception. Now remember, verse 12 says, and he exercises all the power of the first beast. What did we see in verse 3? It says, no, in Revelation 13, verse 2, and it says, and the dragon gave him his power. If the dragon gave the first beast, if the devil gave the first beast, the Catholic Church, their power, in verse 12 says, this new kingdom, America, that comes up, and he exercises all the power of the first beast. So he's exercising all this power from the devil himself. That is why with America the Great, technology has boomed, skyrocketed, the land of milk and honey, but also the land that runs away from God. But anyway, let's I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyway, but so this power, it says in verse 12, Revelation 13, verse 12, and he exercises all the power of the first beast. The power of the first beast, as it says in Revelation 13:2, is power that was given by the dragon. So basically, he has all this power from the devil to do these things. Now we see that, and it says, and he causeth the earth, and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast. Now this is where we're getting into, because Jesuits, the Society of Jesus is what they call themselves, known as Jesuits. Freemasonry, who worship Baphomet, a demon called Baphomet, the fallen star. That's why their stars on their lodges is upside down. Who was the fallen star from heaven? The devil was the fallen star from heaven. But anyway, if they are in control of this new beast, the Jesuits' job is to get people, cultures, and nations by any means to worship the Catholic Church. They were started by Ignatius Loyola, and they pledged their life to the Catholic Church to do whatever it takes to take any disguises by any means. Someone said one time, behind every war was a Jesuit. Behind every war was a Jesuit. They do any means, any and all means, to bring power and worship back to the Roman Catholic Church. So knowing that, and knowing that they took power of America, you say, Jay, they took power. Well, a good friend who happened to be a listener on here, uh, his page name is Hobgoblin. His page name is Hobgoblin, and he commented on the first one, the first 4th of July deception. So Adam, as a friend, he has great Bible knowledge, and I'm glad he listened, because I was sitting there searching for a long time. I was like, Lord, there has to be a day of a pagan holiday. Something happened on July 4th. This is the reason why they have us celebrating this day, because that is what they do on a pagan holiday or a sacrifice day or a memorial day of some kind. They will have put a holiday so they could have the more people celebrating this certain memorial, sacrifice, or blood day. And I couldn't find nothing when I googled, and he brought up the day that the Knights of the Templars was defeated by the Muslim army, and it was July 4th, 1187, in Nazareth. In Nazareth, you know, Saladin, who was head of the Muslims, the Ayyubid dynasty, and the day they lost was called the Battle of Hattin, Hattin, the Battle of Hattin. The Battle of Hattin was the day that the Knights of the Templars was defeated. Now, the Knights of the Templars was the group that once they were defeated, they spread throughout Europe on the run, scared. And along with Ignatius Loyola, some of them joined him and into the Society of Jesus. It's like a human body. It's like a human body, you know. The foot can't do what the hand does. The nose can't do what the eye does. So you wonder why these certain societies got different names. But we tend to think, oh, they're not linked together. No, you need different body parts to perform different functions. To perform different functions. The Jesuits had their role. The Templars had their role. Freemasonry has they have their role. Regular Masons, they have their role. You know, some be a front man, just front men. You know, oh, we're a charity, we're a Christian charity. Some be front men, but they are all a part of the same body. And with that date, it makes extra more sense, because the Knights of the Templars helped start the Jesuits, which in turn helped start Freemasonry. And July 4th, 1187, in Nazareth. Type it in, Google it, Google it. The Ayyubid dynasty defeated the Knights of the Templars. The Muslims defeated them, and that was when the Templars lost their power and control of the world, and they gained it again in gaining control of another country. They lost one country through years of scrumbling, staying in secret, forming other little sects. They finally get control of another country called America. See, there was the supposed papers of independence was actually signed July 2nd. So why don't we celebrate July 2nd? No, they have us celebrating July 4th, and they call it Independence Day. Independence Day, when really it was the Memorial Day on when the Knights of the Templars, their great granddaddies, lost and were beheaded. So they have the world celebrating them gaining power over the world once again. And like I said, their job, Knights of the Templars, Jesuits, Freemasons, their job, like I said, we saw in Revelation 13:12, they're given power by the devil. That's why in America, our society is garbage, evil, wickedness. Look at our TV, our movies. Everything pushes you away from God, and it was strategically done. And we say power was given by the dragon, the devil himself. And the Jesuits, they are, and the Knights Templars, Freemasons, by any means, their goal is to give power back to the Catholic Church. So doesn't that bring more light to why what God says in Revelation 13:12? And he exercised the power of the first beast before, and causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, because they're doing their job. That's what they do. They cause people to give worship back to the Catholic Church. The 4th of July deception. July 4th, 1187. Check it out, y'all. That's what we really celebrate.